Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys been enjoying the content channel as of late. Speaking of late, we are getting closer and closer to midnight. Just got done editing a video. Hopefully it'll be out in a few days. We'll see. Um, but we need to talk about Disney because I just did a video regarding Warner Brothers and about them being up for sale and talking a lot about the reasonings behind that, a lot of their own problems leading to that sale. But I wanted to direct our attention now to Disney because, yeah, Disney's been not been having the best year, and that streak looks like to be is continuing because their Bruce Springsteen biopic coming in fourth place potentially. We don't have the final numbers yet. When I post this video, you'll have final numbers, and yeah, so we'll see how it all fares. But as far as Bruce Springsteen is concerned, if I can get to that information, looking to open between $8 to $12 million, and price tag on this, looking at a $55 million investment. So yeah, so not a good start at all. I am curious to see this. So, hopefully check it out. Money's been a little tight, but we'll see. Um, but yeah, so, and this is 20th Century Studios, by the way, just in case you're wondering why I'm saying Disney. That's why it's under their umbrella. So, yeah, so I wanted to talk about Disney a little bit because a lot of some people, just the word of mouth, just the talk of Disney has been very negative, and um, it makes you wonder how Disney's been doing lately. And well, I decided to look at the past 5 years once again, like we did with Warner Brothers, and see where Disney's at, and see if anything has changed or anything's gotten worse. Let's see together where Disney's been for the past 5 years. Now, originally, I was going to do just strictly 2023 uh, versus 2025 because obviously 2023 was not a great year for anybody. A lot of studios took a lot of hits that year, but wanted to expand it out. So we're going to be looking at the past 5 years, just to be fair. So we started with 2020, and obviously 2020 was not a good year for anybody. As we said before, when talking about Warner Brothers, this was the year of studios trying to figure out how to release their films, and a lot of course correcting, a lot of delays. So Disney had a few films come out. A lot of films, when you look at them, films that probably they were just wanting to get out there anyway, just because a lot of people are probably not going to care to watch these products. Case in point, like New Mutants, Empty Man. There was a few things they took a they took a chance with on streaming, but obviously that didn't pan out for them. Like Mulan, which they had such a ridiculous proposition. If you guys remember Mulan, they had like a premium thing going on where they were forcing you to pay like $30 on top of the subscription for watching that movie. It was just stupid. But yeah, 2020, nothing really happened there. So let's go down now to 2021. Now, 2021, again, we're still deep in the pandemic. This was also the year of when Warner Brothers decided to initiate their HBO Max strategy. And then, of course, all the other studios started to follow suit with their own streaming strategies on their platforms. And obviously, that didn't fare well for anybody. Disney was also a victim to that as well. They tried to put out films like Raya and The Last Dragon, Cruella, Luca, Black Widow, Jungle Cruise. All these were found their ways onto Disney Plus, and none of those did well. And they did try to make a comeback into theaters, and as you can tell, that did not do well for them either, except in two instances, which was Nomadland, which incidentally would actually go on to be the Best Picture winner. Blah 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 blah. Uh, and Free Guy, which was Ryan Reynolds' film, which actually surprisingly did well. Uh, so, but the rest, not so much. All the Marvel films that year, no. Uh, some of those small pieces here and there, not so much. So, yeah, but remember, we're kind of deep in the pandemic, so right now this is kind of this is still an experimental time, but still you can see the effects strongly so as to how that experiment, uh, how that affected things, uh, not only here, but as you'll see very, very soon later on as well. Now we're looking at 2022, and as you can see, the effects are showing because we now are a year out from that whole streaming initiative, and also now 2 years out from the pandemic. Now, 2022, we were kind of starting to creep back into theaters, so we were kind of in the tail end of the pandemic as well. So, still some effects going on here, but we are making that transition now into the theatrical medium once again. And again, still a pretty trying time. At least, though, in this case, a lot of their heavy hitters actually turned out to do better this time. Thor: Love and Thunder, Black Panther 2, Avatar 2. But a lot of their offerings, Pixar especially, did not do well. Their other Marvel piece, Doctor Strange, did not do well. It may have looked like it did well on paper, but when you actually consider the investment itself, and the fact that ticket sales are split in half amongst theaters and studios, it actually didn't do as well as you may think. Um, but they took some big losses this year, like Strange World. I remember was a huge failure for them, uh, amongst other things here and there. Some of which went on streaming, but knowing the investments according to Wikipedia, and just small research that I did basically through Wikipedia, I can determine that those films also probably didn't do as well either. So yeah, 2022, not a particularly great year, but again, the reasoning behind that is because we're at the tail end of of the pandemic. But when we look at 2023, that factor is no longer there. And as you can see, still a pretty trying year. Um, Marvel film wise, only one really did well for them, which was Guardians. Uh, one little small thing that did well for them was Poor Things. Um, a lot probably had to do with reception and talk online. But again, very trying time. They took some major losses this year, specifically with films like Indiana Jones, Little Mermaid, Elemental, which I know people will say did better or ended up making a comeback. Not really. Again, once you break down the numbers, it really didn't do all that well. Disney will say it did well, but it did not. Um, Again, little small pieces here and there, like Next Goal Wins, Taika Waititi's film, which sucks given what happened with Thor. It sucks that you met a bad fate. With this. The Marvels, we all know, was a massive failure for Marvel Studios and for just Disney generally. So this year was not great. This was not a great year. I mean, it was not a great year for anybody, but as you can see, for Disney's case, wasn't a particularly great year. Totally forgot about Wish, also from 2023. That was also another big flop for them. But going into 2024, uh, this year was a little bit better compared to probably in terms of just the past 5 years. I would say last year was probably their strongest year. Uh, they had pieces like Inside Out 2, Moana 2, Deadpool Wolverine, Alien Romulus, the little film that Jesse Eisenberg directed, A Real Pain. They had a pretty good year, at least in terms of comparatively speaking to their successes. Failure wise, of course, they're still lagging. And again, we are now out of that era. I know people will bring up writer strike and all that stuff. That is not a contributing factor here because these films came out. They weren't delayed; they came out still. Um, so, but Still, though, we have more failures compared to their successes, though. We have Planet of the Apes, which I still don't understand why is getting a sequel. Really, when you do the math, this film did not do well. Little small pieces here and there, Kinds of Kindness, Night Bitch, love that title. Mufasa, which again, on paper may have looked like it did well, but once you consider the fact that ticket sales are 50-50, you can start seeing how the math is really, and didn't really do as well as you think it did. Complete Unknown, which was the Bob Dylan biopic, it really was kind of a complete unknown. It seems again might have done well on paper, but once you do the math, didn't do all that great. But generally, just for the past 5 years, last year was probably their strongest year. A lot more notable properties also out there as well that people were excited about. So they had that particularly stronger year, but still a down year nonetheless. Now we come to this year. Now, this year is not officially wrapped for Disney because we still got a couple things down the pipe, which is why I have these in bold because these are the things that have not come out yet. And I'm just predicting essentially what's probably going to end up doing well versus not. As you can see, even with the films that have not come out yet, it's not been a good year for Disney. Many failures for them. No, none of their Marvel films did well for them. Um, and a lot of their notable properties like Snow White just tanked. Little small things here and there. The Amateur, The Roses, Tron just most recently flopped real hard. Um, and I think that they're still going to be taking some major losses because I'm predicting Predator Badlands. I think that's going to be another hit for them because, or another like hit like this, not like this, I think it's going to be another flop in the making because I just don't think that there is a big audience for Predator as much as Alien. So I think between the two, Predator is the lesser of those. Um, Rental Family, I don't see anybody caring. I don't also think Disney is going to really market it all that much. Ella McKay, I don't think anyone's going to give a shit. And Is This Thing On, which is the Bradley Cooper feature with Will Arnett, which I do want to see. It looks good. I doubt that it's going to do all that great, especially because it's looking to come out the same weekend as Avatar. So maybe it might strum up some interest based on that, but I don't I would want to say no, but maybe I could be wrong. But I think that Disney will ultimately be landing at least four things this year that will probably do them well. Lilo and Stitch from Freakier Friday, we've known that did well for them. I think Zootopia 2 and Avatar Fire and Ash, I think, are safe bets. I think that those are going to end up doing fine for them. But as you can see, it's not a particularly great year for Disney, and that streak has been going on for the past 5 years. Even though last year was a particularly better year, it was still a down year. And that trend has been like that now for the past 5 years, well out of the pandemic and with any other issues going on, the writer strike, actor strike, which isn't a big contributing factor in this case. Pandemic specifically was a strong, or was the main reason for a lot of films getting delayed and such. And as you can see, 5 years later, that statement doesn't really hold true as much as just the fact that people are just not as motivated to go to the theater, and companies like Disney are suffering because of it. So, I think that this year was ultimately a bust. I mean, this is from, I think, what was it, D23 or something like that, unveiling their whole slate from this year. Just, it's just really four things: Lilo and Stitch, Zootopia 2, Freakier Friday, and Avatar. The rest, no, no. And these are the things that they're flaunting the most because these are the things that they hope will make them the most money. But as I've illustrated, when we look back in this, they still have things like Is This Thing On, which, they're not really they're not promoting as much, but, or at least potentially not promoting as much because, well, they're not promoting it here. So, um, Yeah, yeah. So this year was a bit of a bust. You know, it wasn't great for Disney, and I feel like that streak is probably going to get broken next year because we have some heavy hitters coming out next year. We have Avengers, we have Spider Man, so Disney will find some footing next year. I don't think it's going to be as triumphant, you know, as per what was the years like 2018, 2019. That's never going to be happening ever again because just of where we are right now culturally and just with, post pandemic, with streaming, how that affected things, how, companies, thanks Warner Brothers, just incentivized the viewer, just gave them the awareness about streaming. It really, really fucked everything up when it came to just theatrical runs and companies trying to make their money, studios trying to make money. So yeah, I think this year's a bust, but fingers crossed for a better year next year. I think it will be in some cases because we got Avengers and Spider Man, and I'm pretty sure there's other things that are that Disney may be hopeful for, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it was another down year, considering what else might be coming out down the pipe. But we'll just have to wait and see. But you guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section below and your thoughts about all this stuff regarding Disney in the past 5 years. Do you guys think that they've been doing well, or do you guys think that they've been struggling quite a bit? And what do you think next year is going to be looking like for the House of the Mouse? So let me know all your thoughts in the comment section below. And that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. And until then, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.